As a part of the Collaboraculture project, one of the things that we've been doing is creating an initial proposed logical vineyard data model, which you can see here on the left. And one of the things that we need the industry to do is to think through whether it makes sense for a number of these sort of geospatial layers and data to be published in an open repository. And off the back of this, we've been doing some initial thinking about, what are the use cases that could drive. So just for a couple of examples, so in terms of spray record keeping, with that central source of truth, farm management tools could be pulling through things like the vineyard names and the blocks, also pulling through those geometry layers as well. So you actually have it from a mapping perspective of the block boundaries that work needs to be carried out. And if this was sort of fitting into an activity like spraying, if the AWRI dog book, so this is the chemicals that can be applied to vineyards and the withholding periods, if they were again published in a way that was accessible for developers, you suddenly have all the data necessary to assemble the creation of jobs such as spraying, like really frictionlessly. So, this was the last spray that I did. So sulfur and copper applied at 600 litres a hectare, but essentially they could all be pulled in from resources that are made available for developers. And then that spray job is then shared with software such as Platform, which will be used by contractors and tractor operators to help them to track the work that's carried out as they go up and down rows to ensure that nothing is missed. And when they've said that they've completed that job, essentially we've got a record of that spray work that's been carried out. And if we're developing an ecosystem of connected technology and software, we have to report as growers for Treasury into some software called GrapeWeb. And they again could be pulling from that central source of truth, the vineyard IDs, block IDs, that underlying data around row spacing and vine spacing, which is critical for working out spray records. So essentially both the farm management tools and the spray record keeping software could have a shared understanding of the block. And then so when you want to share the spray job that's been completed with something like GrapeWeb, we can make that really, really frictionless, and you could equally be sharing that to something like SWA or, Accolades spray record keeping software as well. So, it could really help to enable interoperability in the industry. There's various other bits of reporting that we need to do as growers, into kind of sustainable wine grape growing Australia, and a load of the data that you need to do to be compliant and you're reporting every year could just get pulled in again by querying that central database. So, the amount of the area in hectares that you have of red or white grapes, the size of your vineyard as well, and just the name. And it's just creating and enabling that sort of interoperability and making things ultimately easier for growers. So I hope that's helpful, just to give you a couple of use cases, but there's loads more, but hopefully that helps as a start. Thanks.